with a twisted glee. A horror host like you've never seen. He'll take you on a ride of fear and sadness. Dr. Acid's Midnight Madness.
How you doing watching this movie? It's getting scary.
It's terrifying.
It is getting terrifying.
It's amazing to think that this was a stonewall genre of film.
It
And
is.
feedback was coming out as they spatter all into the camera. You doing good, Nurse Noxious? You doing okay? Does water still drink up good on that kind of camera?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you gotta put milk or other liquids inside to make it so you see liquid, like a spit tank, you know? I don't think.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Gal. Let me just say, don't mean to interrupt and change the subject, but if anybody wants to jump on the alternate dimension receiver, which is right here, I'll go ahead and put up the link in the description, and all you have to do is call, and you can jump on the ADR. As Scott, you're still restrained.
Dynamite?
Yes. All right. It's come to the part of the show, the very exciting part, where we've got a package. It came in the mail this morning. What's in the box? As you can tell, it's about 5 inches tall, about 3 inches wide. It shakes. Can you hear that?
Yeah,
There's something knocking around inside there. And it's about, I would say about a half a pound. All right, what's in the box? Go ahead and guess. Guess your comments. Or add your guess into the comments. And tonight's prize, tonight's prize is, let me take a look here to see. Ah, wow. Tonight's prize is the mysterious puzzle box.
That's actually something good. You should give her a crowd. That's
Right.
That's unique.
It's the myriad of things that get sent to me at a curiosity table here. Apparently it says, can you unlock the mysterious puzzle box? It's challenging. 4 diabolical challenges await you. Can you solve them all? All right, that is the prize up for grabs. What is in the box? So like I said, it's about 5 inches tall, it's about 3 inches wide. The return address says secret admirer. Do not return the sender. There's a little bit of shake inside.
It's a box.
You're about a third of a pound.
You're just. I use grams where I come from.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, well, take us to the next part of the movie. Go ahead and make your guess. We'll start a list when we get back, and then we'll give out the prize. We ready for the next part?
Yeah.
It's getting exciting.
Yeah. Terrified.
I know.
I can't wait to it.
Sleep.
Yo, this is good.
I know we're in here now. Don't look at it. Get some more lights on in this house. Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some board, something about a fireplace, something we can nail this place up. Oh, God damn! Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay? from nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find. There, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors.
So, Mr. Euclid,
Yeah.
I was hoping that while everybody still writes down their answers to what's in the box.
I just like really ripped one in your lab and sorry, sir.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious, like so. Sorry, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
plans?
Wow, no. No, I can smell it. Thanks.
Hey, it's a joke between you and me, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
Is your wife up? Your wife's sleeping through it.
No,
Fine.
yeah, my wife, yeah. No, she won't wake up. Could you give us a demonstration on how you shoot videos for the You Can Do It urban exploration videos?
Yeah. So,
Do you need a fake?
I don't need anything. I got my phone right here.
Oh, okay.
So I shoot on an iPhone 6. So I'm not really that technical in anything. But mostly you start off very excited, like, oh, hello, I'm here. We're not actually shooting. This is all fake. You guys ever seen Black Mirror? San Junipero. It's off. Never mind. San Junipero. Yeah. We're all gonna be in the cloud one day. Anyways, you start off like, hey, I'm here at this place. Let's go. But the best thing to do is like to try to set it up on something. Like put it right here and be like, yeah, I'm here at San Junipero. There's my phone. I really hope it didn't break. And it's good. That's why you get a good case. You don't try to worry about that. Because so one thing is either have really fast reflexes, hit your kung fu really good. Because you know kung fu?
I don't, not personally.
Good, I'm glad you don't. Well, in China, kung fu is gung fu. It's with a G. And I didn't know that. But if you're part of G units, they actually teach you that the first day. So you start off, and then you try to do multiple angles from different angles and different sides, a different way. I said those different angles and different angles.
Yeah.
Different sides, different directions, and try not to make yourself look fast. Actually, the camera takes up about 20 pounds. I'm actually 195 pounds, and I'm losing weight every day, every time on camera. How you doing? So also stick your chin out because it really looks good when you have the double net back in. But the best thing is, when you're outside and you're with other people, people stare at you. Do you get that a lot?
Oh, well, not down here, but that guy right here.
You can't see out this side right here, you know what I mean? So like, you really will see people that are like mocking you, but they may be out of your view. Just roll with it. If they're mocking you, just be like, hey, how you doing? And then there's a lawsuit you have to deal with later because they're like, you filmed me! And you filmed everything! How could you do that to me? After they're like, ah! Screaming at you. And it's absolutely terrible. And your life becomes a sad, depressing shell. That's filmmaking. How do you think the geniuses did it? Like Chaplin, he spent years. Oh, not years. He spent a year on one scene for City Lights. You ever see that movie?
I have, yes, I love that movie.
You see movies, it's awesome.
Yes.
Movies, I thought you just watched trash.
No, I got a microchip implanted in my head. I watch movies all the time. Yeah.
Is that the accident?
Well, no, the B4000, that's how he talks to me. I got a chip implanted. So the B4000, although you can hear him, I can hear him inside my head. He's one of the 7 voices I got going on.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you got that whole shtick. It's always good to have a shtick. And then when you finally get big and like people are like ready to accept you as a filmmaker, sell yourself so high and be like, I have shirts and my shirts cost $50. Make sure you have a high percentage off. Like you want to make it 75% off of your shirts. Like, so like, you know, it costs like 50 cents to make them. Sell them for $50. And your fans, they got nothing. What else? In the biker.
I hate to cut you off because what you were saying, that's great advice. We do have to go to the next part of the movie, but B4000, cut whatever he said into a good little informational video. We can use it for years to come.
You do that?
Yeah, he can. He's a master at video editing. All right, there's Johnson, take us to the next part of the movie. When we get back, we're gonna open up what's in the box. No, we're gonna write down the list of all the answers. What's in the box. getting ahead of myself.
Won't be long for those things to be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire. I found that out. You know a place back down the road called Beekman's? Beekman's Diner? Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there. There's a radio in the truck. I had jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road with there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now, it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Could still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except by now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me. I started to drive. I just plowed right through them. They didn't move, they didn't run or just stood there staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery, Johnny and me. Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave. Johnny, and he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And oh, it's hot in here. Hot. And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up and I said, "Good evening." And he grabbed me. He grabbed me and he ripped at me. He held me and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh, I screamed, "Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me!" And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We have to wait for Johnny. Maybe we better go out and get him. We have to go out and get Johnny.
I can't believe you hit the main star, main heroine. Okay. Alrighty. It is time to get the comments for what is in the box.
What is in the box?
Mr. You've got do you have any comments?
I have comments. There's so many.
All right, let me grab a pen and my trusty pad of paper. All right, what's in the box?
Okay.
What do we got here?
Well, first, for what's in the box, and please write your comments now because time is a fickle thing and things seem to disappear. What's in the box? Please write them. Brian says a comb for crab lice packed in candy corn. So candy corn, comb, lice,
Crab, lice,
the crabs like the.
candy. All right, I got comb, crab lice, candy corn. Very good.
Let's see. Is there any other? There's a lot. There's a lot of things, but we've lost things. Okay, we're gonna go down here. We're gonna look here. We've got Matt Russell says that it's an egg.
An egg, okay.
An egg.
Not a century egg the whole time.
What's a century egg?
You don't want to know what a century egg is. All right, what else we got?
A gentleman named Scott, nice name. Potato salad.
Potato salad. Very interesting.
Potato salad. We got potatoes up here on the board. Paul Thomas says it's a MacGuffin.
Oh, Paul Salad breaking out the MacGuffin. That's a very
Abstract.
rude answer.
Yeah.
That applies to a lot of things.
You've got Richard White, who says it is a small dog's ear.
Richard White says
Small dog's ear.
small dog ear.
You said haunted?
It may be. That was the ear I drew.
Oh,
You see some. It's at the bottom of the state hospital. It might be haunted. What else we got?
James Martin says a bag of potatoes.
James.
Bag of potatoes.
Bag of potatoes.
I think no one needs new glasses.
That's a very small bag of potatoes. Okay.
But there's a ghost, BC, Martin says potatoes. I know it's a ghost. Yeah. Brian, Brian's already up there. Never mind. Danny Heck. Wow, that's an awesome name. The bird I fed acid last week. Danny Heck.
Bird. Yeah.
Fed acid last week. Right now, as we speak, there are a crew of people that are coming right to your house. How could you do that? Anyway,
What else we got?
Ken says it's the candy Scott owes me for rigging his contest.
Who said that?
Ken, so candy I owe for rigging a contest.
Well, what's the answer?
Candy I owe for rigging a contest.
That's gonna be candy.
Okay, and Scott Taylor, this shows Scott T. Scott T.
Oh, okay, Scott T.
He says that in this box, this one's a hard one, is a box.
Another box.
Yeah.
Wow. That is very good on a lot of different levels. Okay, another box. Anything else?
That's it. I think that's all that is coming. We are vamping for 10 seconds. See if anyone else has anything else to say.
Okay, so we'll go to the next part of the movie. If you have any guesses on what's in the box, go ahead and comment again. We'll add it to the list before we open the box in the next episode, in the next break. All right, take us away, Nurse Noxious.
There's someone. They've all died. It could be Johnny.
Oh,
It's Johnny!
we'll add that.
Johnny! Johnny! Where's Johnny?
He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead! Oh. Oh. Oh.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for the slayings. It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins. Eyewitnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being So, at this point, there is no really authentic way for us to say who or what to look for and guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have been unable to determine that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway. Police, sheriff's deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help. The scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the National Guard may be mobilized at any moment, but that has not happened as yet. The only advice our reporters have been able to get from official sources is for private citizens to stay in their homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined and until we can advise what course of action to take. Keep listening to radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to reach their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you received word that the president has called a meeting of his cabinet to deal with the sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and the Joint Chiefs behind closed doors. A White House spokesman, in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our newsroom. Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the extent of this latest bulletin. Repeating, members of his cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and scientists from NASA within the hour. All radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country, including the one to which you're listening, have joined their facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV and to stay indoors at all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale murder which apparently is engulfing much of the nation. Law enforcement officials are at a loss to explain or, even at this hour, even to theorize about the reasons for this wave of murder. So far, the advice they're able to give the public is something Chief T.K. Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina, was quoted as saying, quote, "Tell the people, for God's sake, to get off the streets. Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here." End quote. Is Chief Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina. So far, the only descriptions, the only clues anyone has of the killers
Wow. I am completely amazed that you made it through that movie. That was completely nightmarish. It was horrific. How many people died? I don't know. But congratulations for making it. All right. Join us tomorrow night. And with that, I will see you next time. Good night.
Late night creeping, shadows on the block. Dr. Acid's laid deep, knocking at the clock. Skulls in the hallway, candle wax drip. Rules on the telly, twisted as a trip. Dr. Acid's midnight madness. Gaze upon the screens, macabre sadness. Mirrors noxious by his side, so vicious. Nightmare machine, twisted and malicious. Rock rolling in, madness contagious. Dead folk dance so outrageous. Syringes filled with plasma, iris wide. Behind the screen, they can run on high. Dr. Acid's midnight madness. Gaze upon the screens, macabre sadness. Nurse noxious by his side, so vicious. Nightmare machine, twisted and malicious. Heart rolling in, madness contagious. Dead folk dance so outrageous. Syringes filled with plasma, iris wide. Behind the screen, they can run on high. Haunted vibes buzz from the screen. Poltergeists, a sinister scene. Noxious spins the wheel again. Spineless souls drowning in the pain. Lurking in the dark, shadows sway. Graveyard ambiance, they don't play. Bats and spiders, doomsday.